Good morning and welcome to your Farm and Home Show. My name is Joanna and this morning we're visiting with Adam Estes. He's the Hart County Extension Agent for Agriculture and Natural Resources. Good morning, Adam.
Good morning, Joanna.
You know, our cattle numbers are lower than they've been since the 60s, and the growth, they say, might happen in Kentucky and Tennessee, and so we really need to maximize our management to be able to do that.
That's right. We need to be efficient. Inputs are high.
Yeah. So what are some of those tips that farmers need to be thinking about?
First thing we want to talk about is soil testing. That's important with any crop you're raising, and pastures no different. So main thing is soil test your pastures and apply the needed P and K. And on those soil tests, a lot of times there's recommendations at the bottom specifically for nitrogen.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we'll get carried away in nitrogen, and I think a lot of that happens in the spring as well. I think we can minimize some of our spring nitrogen applications due to the fact that we're getting spring growth anyway. So the main things: soil test and apply needed P and K, and then what nitrogen you need.
And Adam, explain for me, because sometimes I'm kind of like, I'm going to have to run over that field multiple times if I'm going to split this application. But what's the importance of the split application?
Well, the nitrogen is only going to last for so long, and another reason is we're getting lush growth in the spring. We kind of hit a slowdown in the summer months, and then we're hitting another one in August or September. We hit another flush of growth. So maybe a little bit in the spring, come back with your August or September application for that fall grazing stockpile.
And so it'll save you money and get the most out of your grass.
Yes, ma'am. Continuous grazing will lead to overgrazing. It's just a matter of time. It will lead to overgrazing. When we talk about continuous grazing, we're only using 30 to 50% of the forage available. When we rotational graze, we can go up to 75%. A 2-day rotation can be 55 to 70% utilization. A 1-day rotation could be 60 to 75% utilization. So again, more efficient, using more resources.
And when you say rotational grazing, I think a lot of times people think, that's going to be so much work and so much labor. But really, you can get a good system down, and it's just picking up and moving the fence.
That's exactly right. You can start small. You can take 5 to 10 paddocks and graze them for 3 to 7 days and rest for 25 to 30 days. That rest will get you a ton of growth.
Yeah. And so if people are like, I don't know how to start to rotational graze, do we have resources available?
We do. ID 143 is a specific publication that UK puts out about rotational grazing. Lots of useful information in there. Talks about water resources, things that you can do to rotational graze.
Because I think that's probably the biggest limiting factor is water and where that water is located.
That's right.
But there's a way to cut up those pastures with some temporary fence that probably can really behoove and extend your grazing.
You can take poly wire and some step-in post and do a lot.
Any other tips for the grazing of spring?
The more you restrict those pastures, the more manure distribution you're going to get. We talked about being fertilizer inputs being so high. A cow's going to excrete 70 to 90% of what she's consuming out in urine and feces. So we're making good of what we've got.
Yeah, and so that's another benefit of that rotational grazing. Not only are you getting the grass utilization, but we're always putting those nutrients back. Now, it is spring, and we do have that lush grass. In the summer, we're going to hit maybe a little slow point. If we rotationally graze, can we extend the amount that we can use in the summer months?
We can. It's still going to slow down, but this is when you may incorporate some summer annuals of some sort. Some pearl millet or sorghum sudan grass. Some of those summer annuals is just going to grow in the summer months. And you use those when the fescue and orchard grass is slowing down, and then when it's done, you'll have fescue and orchard grass in the fall.
And Adam, some people might say, I just don't have the land to be able to dedicate all of that to. There are probably ways to incorporate some of these tips to kind of get people started.
That's right. There's a lot of grant resources that we can use. NRCS has some programs, FSA, and even your county ag development board as well, through maybe CAPE.
To maybe install these practices.
Yes,
maybe not all in 1 year, but any type of progress that we make is going to be better for our farming operation.
That's right.
All right, Adam, we certainly appreciate the information. And if you have any questions, make sure to contact your local extension office for more information. Thanks for watching and have a great day.